Hi, Cat's Cradle. I wanted to tell you about a few things, just kind of a mishmash of things, none of them really important enough to make a video on their own about, so I'm just going to put them here on this update and odds and ends video. Yesterday, we went out with some other friends. Actually, there were about 40 of us to practice shooting on a piece of property some friends own, about 110 acres, that had been in their family since before the Civil War, and we all did some skeet shooting, which was really fun. And here's Prepper A and Paladin Prepper lining up to do that. Some of our other friends got some good practice in too. It was a beautiful day. The weather couldn't have been better. There was a breeze, but it wasn't too windy. It was wonderful. After we got through skeet shooting, we had a little picnic. We grilled some hot dogs. The kids got to play in this beautiful quarry on the property. The stone had been taken out to make gravel roads all over the county and left this beautiful quarry that was done back in the 50s, and the kids had a great time. They caught some frogs, and Prepper A's pretty fast. She even caught a couple of fish by hand. Here we are stopping to have a little lunch. It was just so pleasant. What a great day. After lunch, we did some target practice with handguns. We tried all different kinds of handguns. We switched around with each other, and just to kind of get the feel for some different kind of guns. Some of us are interested in purchasing some different kinds, and we're able to try them right there. Here's Prepper A. Our friend who's standing behind her really wanted to get her excited about this 22 because he wanted her to buy it from him, and she fell in love with it and liked it. It was just a little bit long for her, and you're going to be able to see in this next picture how she's bending just a little bit to accommodate that gun, and even in the next picture she sways just a little more. But you liked it, didn't you?
Oh yes, very much so.
She sure did. So here she is. Yeah, there she is. Look at that hip stuck out there, trying to get the beat on that target really good. We even had some little bitty folks there. Here's a fella letting a little, with very, very close supervision, let this little one shoot this pistol. Now I'm going to give you a little warning here that the next picture is graphic, so if you're a little squeamish, shut your eyes and I will tell you when to open them again. I was the only one at the outing yesterday that got hurt, but fortunately I was also the one that brought a first aid kit. I went to get in the back of a friend's Super Cab pickup and was going to readjust myself in the seat, and went to go push with my foot to move myself further back in the seat, and my foot slipped and it went under the metal apparatus that bolts that seat into place and really banged myself up. Luckily I grabbed my first aid kit, and while I didn't have any water to immerse my foot in to wash it off, I was able to quickly take an ibuprofen and to relieve the pain, and it's feeling much better today and looks significantly better than this, although I'm sure I'm going to lose the toenail, and it's going to take a while to heal. So now you can open your eyes. Went out to the garden this morning and saw a few critters out there. Some I like and some I don't like. In the center of this picture, even though it's not very clear, is a toad who I'm thrilled to have in my garden because he eats bugs and I like to have him. I went over to check on my blackberries, and they look great. They're turning red and will soon be turning black, but there were no bugs on them, unlike my raspberries, which I'm still fighting the bugs with. And in the center of this picture, it's not really very clear, but the little yellow thing in the center, that's a grasshopper, and they were all over the raspberries, as were the Japanese beetles. When I saw them earlier in the week, I wasn't sure they were Japanese beetles, but they've taken on more color now, probably from all the nutrition they're getting from my raspberry leaves. And here's 3 of them on one leaf. Anyway, gave them a quick squirt with my insecticidal soap, and they fell over, writhing in the pain from the cayenne pepper juice, I'm sure. Tattler has posted on their website more information for people as canning season begins, so that you can more effectively use their Tattler canning lids and their rubber gasket seals, and I will post a link so that you can read all that information. I want to show you something interesting. I've been buying these little Santa Sweet cherry tomatoes, and I always just rinse them off and leave them on my counter. I never refrigerate tomatoes. Really, if you want to keep them tasting great, you shouldn't put them in the refrigerator. But I forgot these on the counter. And when I opened them up, none were rotten. They were all shriveled and looked like they had been sun-dried. Now, they're not as dry as sun-dried, but I'm sure they will be if I leave them there very long. And so I pop one in my mouth, and they're delicious. The flavor is really intense. Prepare said, "Are you going to use those?" And I told her, I said, "Sure, they taste delicious." So I've just left them there, and I have purchased some more. But you will notice in this picture, there's two. The dried ones on the left and the new ones I purchased on the right are plump and perfect and beautiful. But the old one says product of Mexico, which is interesting, and the new one says product of USA. So I don't know whether they have changed where they're growing them or if they grow them in different places during the seasons. I don't want to buy food from Mexico. I didn't notice that when I bought it, so I'm hoping they've switched their production to the US. Anyway, here's showing you what the shriveled up ones look like. They're really like tomato craisins or something, and but they're just as delicious as they can be. Here's one in my hand, and you can see about how they look. And then here are the perfect ones that were just bought yesterday. I went to their website because really I'm thinking if a tomato lasts this long, maybe it's been genetically modified and there's something I don't want to like about the company. But when I went to their website, I found that I like them very much. They are people who are trying to do the right thing. And they talk about this little sweet grape tomato, and it is, they say it's a first generation hybrid seed that has not been genetically altered in any way. This is a picture showing all the varieties of tomatoes they offer. Some are the little yellow grape tomatoes, and the big ones are what they call they're ugly tomatoes. They're actually an heirloom. I'm really pleased with this company. On their main page, you can click on this little video that shows you how they've gone to all solar power at one of their New Jersey plants, and they hope to expand that to other plants. So this is a company that's doing exciting things, and I'm happy to buy their grape tomatoes until my tomatoes get ripe. I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you learned something that you can use, and just wanted to catch up on a few things that were going on, and I hope you're doing wonderfully. Cat's Cradle.